Hey, I'm Grayson, and we're gonna make some tacos with black beans and pork. You can use whatever meat you want, really. I used roasted pork butt. Here's the lowdown. I got a busted butt, and you marinate it overnight in whatever you want. I used mojo marinade. Set the oven to 250 degrees and letting it sit in the oven for say for 8 hours or something like that until it falls off the bone. I used dried black beans. I soaked them overnight. Get yourself a cutting board. I use a little piece of paper towel. Keep it from slipping. The drippings from the pork, I'm going to drain it right into the pan and then use that as the cooking oil. So you don't have to use any olive oil or whatever. Turn it on high, come to a boil. There's an onion. I got some cilantro and some tortillas, white flour tortillas, and some garlic. So I got an onion straight from Bears Groves Market. They saw them right there. They grow them right there. Real fresh. That little top there that I was just taken away, you can actually use that in a stock or a soup. Throw away the onions peels and just dice it up. Dice up the onions. Because you've been cooking these onions for a long time, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, just toss the onions right into the fat. Rough chop on the garlic. Just grab some cilantro and break it right off into there thing. Stir it up. Gotta get that cilantro going. Little bam, bam. And roll some limes out. Squeeze half of them in there. Squeeze half a lime. Squeezing half a lime. Squeezing half a lime. Add some pepper, some salt. That'll help. Add your beans. Let them saute for a little bit. Absorb some of the juice. Let that sucker boil for, it took a good 30 minutes, probably 45 minutes to completely done. It gets a thicker consistency, the beans start breaking down. And then you don't need to add any more water to that. To flavor it, I added a little bit of the pork skin that I saved from the pork butt. Just let that get in there nice and good, and it'll add a nice little porky taste to it. Yeah, I used whatever spicy pepper you like. I used a habanero. Chop them up, throw them in there. It adds a nice little background heat if you let them sit there for a long time. You can take out the seeds if you want. Just adds it a little extra heat if you leave them in. I don't really mind them, so I just left them in. Slice them up. Oh yeah, remember to wash your hands after you do this because they're spicy even after you cut them. Don't go to the bathroom or anything. Just don't touch your face, please. Oh yeah, Nazi bits. Yeah, you can use 2 or 1 or 3 depending on the heat level, but 2 was definitely enough. It makes it really spicy. Add some cilantro if you really like the green color right at the end. Yeah, and always remember to taste your food as you go, because that way you can tell what spices are needed or whatever. Okay, so what I got here is a plantain, plantano in Spanish. It's kind of like a banana, more like a potato, this consistency-wise, and they're kind of hard to peel when they're green. So I cut them on 4 sides and then take each side and try to take off the skin. It comes off pretty easily sometimes it doesn't. For this one, I use green plantains. Yeah, I just cut them up into little medallions, probably 1 inch, 2 inches tall. Just enough so you can get it half in the oil for the plantains. I'm using olive oil. You can use whatever you like. I'm using olive oil because I have it, and some peanut oil. Olive oil has a low smoking temperature, so if you turn it up on high and let it sit, it's just going to start smoking. Just put the plantain in the olive oil and make sure not to overcrowd your pan. You set the oil onto a medium heat, and you wait till it comes up. You don't really want to get it too hot because you're just trying to soften them. It's like cook twice potatoes, to make them crispy. It's the same sort of thing. Kind of get them a little brown on both sides, probably 2 minutes on each side. Once they're drained and cooled off a little bit, you pull out a piece of plastic wrap and a bowl, and you just smash them in between or on a piece of plastic wrap. Make kind of a little flat little patty. Then you turn your oil back on high, and you fry them again. Don't overcrowd it this time. Just go 4 at a time, or depending on how big your pan is. And just wait till they're golden brown and crispy, and then flip them, and then do the same thing with the rest of them. And you got yourself plantain chips. Add salt right after they get out. Well, right now I'm just making some cilantro and lime sour cream. It sounds really nice, tastes really good. It's really, really, really easy. Basically, half a cup of sour cream, 2 heaping tablespoons of cilantro. I really like cilantro, so I'm loading it up. The juice of 1 lime. And you just mix that up, and it's a sauce, and it's very tasty. To doing the crispy flour tortillas, you take some flour tortillas, put them in some oil on high, and crisp them up, and they get really nice and crispy and crunchy. You can kind of just press them down if it has a big bubble, and everything's ready. Let's assemble. So you take some of that mojo marinated pork, throw it on that crispy tortilla, grab some black bean, just enough, and a plantain chip. Cut it in half or whatever, and tear it in half. Throw it on there. Cilantro, lime, sour cream. Douse it with that. And a little bit of cilantro at the end. I really like cilantro. And you eat it. It falls apart. It's just such a messy one, but damn, it looks really good.